Hey guys, welcome to Leadership Week 4. We're going to talk today, continuing our series on heart, head, and hands. We've been talking about heart for the last few weeks. And so we're going to talk about one of the principles for leaders in protecting and growing the heart is the importance of a mentor. So I want to say this really clearly. A mentor is not a supervisor. I'll say it again. A mentor is not a supervisor. Now, most of us have a longing and a desire to have somebody invest in our lives, particularly if we are a leader. Our struggle is finding that right person, finding the person who's going to mentor us. Unfortunately, sometimes we just, play it by ear and hope beyond all hopes that maybe my supervisor or maybe somebody who just drops in my lap will actually be a great mentor for me. And unfortunately, that's a recipe for disaster. I'm going to read you a couple verses about mentoring, and I'm going to give you a few tips about finding a mentor. I have personally, for myself, I have discovered that having a mentor and a series of mentors in my life is incredibly important to the protecting my own heart and allowing God to develop my heart and character. So Proverbs chapter 9, verse 9 says, "Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be still wiser. Teach a righteous man, and he will increase his learning." So Proverbs 9 says that we need to have hearts that are open to be taught. We have to have a thirst and a hunger to grow. We have to thirst and hunger to be mentored. Proverbs 13:20 says, "Walk with the wise and become wise. A companion of fools suffers harm." So Proverbs says not only have a thirst for it, but Proverbs 13 tells me that we need to have a strategy in place for finding a mentor. We need to intentionally walk with wise people. We intentionally put people in and around our life who are wise and will speak into our lives. So how do we do that? How do we find mentors, and how do we find people who we can entrust really the character and growth of our soul to? Well, let me share with you a couple of things that I found to be true. Number one, we need to remember when looking for a mentor that mentors are not experts on everything. So don't look for somebody who's perfect at every corner of life. You're not going to find them. You're not going to find somebody who's finally arrived and is great at family and is great at a particular skill and maybe great at money and great at personal Bible study. They're impossible to find. What you want to do is you want to look for variety. You want to look for multiple mentors in your life. That's right. I just said it. It's not just finding one mentor. It's finding multiple people that you can trust to speak into your life. It's having somebody that you trust that's really great at maybe structures or systems. Maybe somebody that you really trust that's really great at counseling and counseling people. Maybe somebody you really trust at coaching you through what it is to be a godly spouse, or find somebody you trust on what it is to hear the voice of God and be close to God. So look for variety. So the first step in finding somebody to invest in your life to help your heart and character grow is looking for variety. Don't look for a one size fits all, one person to fix everything. That's number one. Number two, in looking for a mentor, you need to simply establish a first date. Now, just like if you were looking for someone to spend your life with, your first date, you typically are not going to show up and say, "Hey, let's get married," and I'm dreaming about 4 kids and a dog. And on first dates, you go with excitement and anticipation, but you just go to get to know somebody. So when looking for a possible mentor, have a lot of first dates. Have conversations, treat people to coffee. Say, "Hey, could I buy you a cup of coffee? Could I buy you some lunch? And I'd like to get to know you, maybe ask you a couple of questions because I've heard you've got a lot of experience." And just go with no long-term expectation and just try to get to know somebody. So that's the first thing. Just have a conversation. Number three, third tip about having a mentor and developing a mentoring relationship where somebody's pointing into you is always bring a list of specific questions. People who will be great at speaking into your life are the kind of people who really will appreciate you showing up with a list of questions, usually about 2 or 3 questions that are thoughtful and that are purposeful and questions that really, really matter. And so to have a mentoring relationship with somebody, always come with 3 questions. I also encourage you to bring something to write on, or make sure that the mentor knows that whatever they're communicating to you really matters to you. This will help ensure that this person will want to invest in you again in the future. Number 4, always you take the initiative to follow up with a mentor. Part of the longing for mentoring is this hope that somebody will want to swoop us underneath their wings and they will do all the care and follow up. My experience is that it just doesn't happen that way. If you want to develop a relationship with somebody who will be mentoring you, it's important for you to take the follow-up as your own initiative. Make sure that you're the person who's sending a thank you. Hey, thank you for meeting with me this week. It meant the world to me. It's important that you're the person initiating the next conversation. And when you have those conversations, when you have those next conversations, start the conversation out with saying things like, hey, last time we met, fill in the blank. Last time we met, it meant so much to me that you said this and this. And also let them know what you've done with the things that last time you met about. So last time we met, you shared with me about how to do this in your opinion. And you know what, I tried it and it worked so for me, or it didn't work, or it did. Could we talk about that today? So mentors will really appreciate knowing that they've taken their time and their busy schedule to invest something in you and that it's really mattering. It's that you're putting it into practice, you're wrestling with it. So, and then the last one, number 5, on finding a mentor. Number 5 is this: be a mentor. If you open your life up to mentoring other people, I find it amazing how God opens up our lives to mentors. If we're a person who's in the habit of giving away and investing in somebody else, God has this habit of investing in us and providing us people that will pour into our lives. So it's so important for you and for me to have people who speak into our lives. Let me read these verses again to you. I want you to hear them. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be still wiser. Teach a righteous man, and he will increase his learning. Are you teachable? Are you hungry? Are you thirsty? And then Proverbs 13 says, walk with the wise and become wise. A companion of fools suffers harm. So intentionally put yourself in those mentoring relationships and you watch what God will do. God bless.